Good morning. In this lesson, we're going to take grammar of Unit 2. And this grammar will talk about question tag. Okay, so let's take some example here about question tag. First, she is a pretty girl, isn't she? They are playing, aren't they? So, question tag are short questions, okay, at the end of the sentence. Like when I said here, she is a pretty girl, isn't she? So when I said isn't she here means what? Means question tag. And when I said they are playing, aren't they? So question tag here, aren't they? Okay, so question tag are short questions at the end of the sentence. Okay, we question tag in spoken English and formal writing in English. So let's have some examples here and know more about question tag. So, she can study, can't she? They swim every day, don't they? So here, like I said before, we have more form about question tag. So when I said she can study, can she? Here, can't she is what is question tag. They swim every day, don't they? Don't they here means what? Means question tag. So let's know how can I use it, or how can I make question tag. Okay, so we have here like the form, okay, of the question tag. Like what? For negative sentence, okay, we use affirmative question tag. Like what? We have here example. This example says, the meeting isn't at 10 o'clock, is it? Okay, the meeting isn't. So, isn't here is negative. Okay, so when I make question tag, I will change this negative into what? That's right, into affirmative. Okay, so I will say the meeting isn't at 10 o'clock. Is it? So I changed the negative to yes, to affirmative. We have another question here. He doesn't get up early, does he? So why I used does he? Because in the first one I said he doesn't here was what? Was, that's right, was negative. So when I make question tag, I will change that negative to, that's right, to affirmative. So it will be, he doesn't get up early, does he? So I changed the negative to what? To affirmative here. So let's know about the form rule. The form rule about the question tag. If I have auxiliary verbs, okay, or we can call them helping verbs, like what? Like will, would, can, could, shall, should, etc. Okay, we repeat it in the question tag. Okay, so if I have any of these auxiliary verbs like will, would, can, could, shall, should, I will use them when I make question tag. Okay, so let's have example. But don't forget something here. What is something? When I have in the sentence affirmative, I will change it into what? Into negative. This rule stay with us until the end of the question tag. So let's see example here. She can study. Okay, she can study. I want to make question tag of this sentence. So what we will do? So we have here what? Do we have here is, am, or? No, we don't have is, am, or. We have here can. Can is one of auxiliary verbs. Like what? Like will, would, can, could, shall, should. Okay, so I will use this auxiliary verb to make question tag. So let's go. She can study. I want to make a question tag. It will be what? We will make this cross here. So can will come in the first, and she will come the second. It will be can't she. So why I said can't she? Because we have here this rule. What this rule? If the sentence, that's right, if the sentence is affirmative, I will change it into what? Into negative. So she can study. When I change it into, or when I use the question tag, it will be can't she. So the sentence will be she can study, can't she. So when I have auxiliary verb, I will use it to make what? To make, that's right, the question tag. So let's have another question. They won't feed the dog. They won't feed the dog. So I want to make here what? Question tag. So let's go. We have here what? We have here want. Want is one of, that's right, auxiliary verbs like will, would, can, could, shall, should. But want here, I made what? That's right. It is in what form? It is in negative form. That's right. I want to change it into what? Into affirmative. So when I will use it, I will use in the first, and the pronoun will comes after it. So it will be like will, they. So I change it, the negative here, into what? Into affirmative, because want here is negative. So I want to make it in affirmative form. Okay. So they won't feed the dog. Will they? So I change it to what? Change it to question tag. Okay. So we have here the form that what I did here. So this cross here, like want came in the first, and they came in the second, and it will be will they. Okay. So another form rule here. If the sentence has verb to be, we repeat it in the question tag. Okay, like the questions we talk in the first here, when we were talking in the first. Okay, like these questions, they are playing, aren't they? She is a pretty girl, isn't she? So when I have verb to be, so tell me, what is meaning of verb to be? Verb to be here means am, is, are. Okay, am with I. It is with he, she, it. Are with they, we, you. That's right. So if I have any of these, am and am, is, are, I will use them to make yes, tag question. So Mark is tall. Mark is tall. So I want to make here question tag. I will make a cross. So it will be like what? Mark here takes pronoun he or she or it. Mark, yes, Mark is a male. So he takes he. Okay, so Mark will be he, and is will be in the first, and we will change the affirmative into negative. It will be Mark is tall, isn't he? I think it's very easy. So let's have another question. They aren't eating. They aren't eating. So we have here the form of this sentence, or the form is here what is aren't, right? So aren't here is negative, so I will change it when I make question tag into affirmative. They aren't eating. So I want to make a question tag. It will be they aren't eating. Are they? So are came in the first, they came in the second, and change it into affirmative. So they aren't eating. Are they? So another rule: if the sentence has no auxiliary verb and is in the present simple, we will use do or does. So if the sentence here in the present and we don't have auxiliary verb, or we don't have am or is or are, so we will use do or does. Okay, so let's continue. For example here, you like chocolate. I want to make tag question. So I don't have here any auxiliary verb. I don't have here any verb to be, right? So and the sentence here in the present. So I will choose one of two, do or does. Okay. So the subject here, you. Okay. You here we treat it as plural or singular. You we treat it as plural. Okay, so it will take do or does. Do, that's right. So when I will make question tag here, I will use do. So the sentence here in affirmative or negative in affirmative, that's right. And the sentence here in present or past in present, so I will take do. So I will use do to make a question tag. It will be don't you. Why I said don't you? Because I used don't, okay, because the noun, the subject here or the noun is plural, so I used do and you came after it. Okay, so we have here exception. Okay, exception in what? In this form of when I use do or does. Okay, so let's see. Do or does or are or any verb to be. Okay, these all including that exception. For example, okay, I am a good student. I am a good student. Okay, okay, so I want to make here question tag. So let's see here. I am saying I am a good student. I am a good student. So I want to make that question tag. Here am will change to are. So the exception in this rule, what? When I have am, I will change it to what? To are. Okay, so the sentence here is what? The sentence here is affirmative, so I will change are to what? To negative. Okay, so can I use are with I? No. So are will I will use it will with you. Okay, so are here I will use it with you, so it will be I am a good student. Aren't you? So the question tag here will be aren't you, because I changed am to are and I to you. So the exception here, when I see I or am, I will change them to are and you. Okay, in what? In question tag. Okay, so let's see question here or example. Sarah and Rana, okay, don't have lunch at 3 p.m. So the sentence here is negative, okay, and I have here Sarah and Rana. Sarah and Nara are two, right? Right. So they are plural or singular. They are plural. Okay. So they take which pronoun? They take they, because they are plural. Okay. So I want to make a question tag here. We will make a cross between Sarah and Rana and don't, okay, and use the pronoun they, and we will put do in the first, they comes second, okay. So it will be Sarah and Rana don't have lunch at 3 p.m. Do they? Okay, so we will change Sarah and Rana to what? To pronoun, and we now understood that we should use pronoun in what? In question tag. We will not use any nouns. We just use pronouns. Okay. Okay. So we will have another question here. Kate works in London. Okay. Here, do I have any auxiliary verbs? No. Do I have here any verb to be? No. So I will use what? I will use do or does. The noun or the subject here is plural or singular. The subject here is singular, right? So I will use does. Okay. So here the sentence is negative or affirmative. The sentence is affirmative. So I will make a cross between Kate and does. Right? Right. Okay. So we will change Kate. Kate here is what? Male or female? Female. So it will take what? It will take what? It will take she, the pronoun she. So it will be doesn't she. Kate works in London, doesn't she? Okay, so let's have another question here. Noor doesn't play tennis. Noor here is what? Is male, right? So he will take he or she, he will take he. So, and doesn't here is negative, so we will change it into affirmative. So the sentence will be Noor doesn't play tennis, does he? So another form rule here, if the sentence has no auxiliary verb and is in the past simple, we use did. So again, if the sentence here in the past, okay, and we don't have any auxiliary verbs, okay, or any verb to be, so we will use did. Why I will use did? Because the sentence in what? In the past, okay. And how or when I will know the sentence in the past, I will see keyword. It will makes me understand that the sentence in the past. So let's see in here in the question. Last week here the keywords of the past, okay. She went to the club. So last week she went to the club. So I understood here the sentence in not in the present, the sentence here in the past, right? That's right. So I will use what? I will use did. So why I will use did? Because I don't have here any auxiliary verb, any verb to be, and the sentence in the past. So let's go. So we will use did, and we will make did in the first, and she comes after it. But here the sentence in affirmative, so I will change did to what? To didn't, because I use negative, not affirmative here. So it will be last week she went to the club, didn't she? Another question. They didn't eat their lunch. So here the sentence in what? In negative, right? And he put here didn't. So I understood this sentence in the best. So when I will make a question check, I will change between they and didn't, and I will change it into affirmative. So it will be they didn't eat their lunch. Did they? So why do you use question tag? So I will here know the usage of question tag. First, to check if something is true. Okay, if I want to know something true or false, I will ask with question tag to make sure that that thing that I want to know is true. For example, she can study. So we have here auxiliary verb. I will use what I will put in the first, right? And she comes after it, and I will change it from the affirmative to negative. That's right. So she can study, can't she? Here I want to know if she can study. I want to make sure, I want to know the true. If that true, she can study or she can't. Okay, so in the first case here, or in the first usage, I use question tag to sure or make sure or to check if something is true. Number 2, to ask for agreement. If I want to know somebody agreement, okay, I will ask with question tag. Like Mark is tall, isn't he? Mark is tall, isn't he? We have here verb to be, and Mark will change because he is male, will change to he, and I will use negative because the sentence here is what is affirmative. Okay, so it will be Mark is tall, isn't he? So in this sentence I want to know somebody if he is agree, okay, or disagree. So I ask in question tag. So I use question tag to know what? To know the agreement of somebody. Okay, so these are the two usage of question tag. The first, to check if something is true. The second, to ask for agreement. So let's have some exercises here. So these exercises are solved, so we are answered. So we will try to not see the answer. Okay. He is in the band. So we have here verb to be. It will be isn't he. Number 2, you will come to the school concert. We have here auxiliary verb, so we will change it to negative. It will be want you. Number 3, you can play the guitar. We have here the sentence in affirmative, and we have here auxiliary verb, so we'll change it to negative and change between you and can, so it will be can't you. Number 4, that film was great. So we here have was auxiliary verb. Okay, we have here was verb to was, verb to were. Okay, so that film was great. So was here from verb to be, but in the best, so we will change it. It will be that film was great, wasn't it? 5, she sings well. So we don't have any verb to be or any auxiliary verb, so we will use do or does. She here singular or plural. She is singular. So it will takes So it takes does. Okay, so she sings well, doesn't she? Number 6, they don't like pop music. So we will change it, so it will be do they. Okay, number 7, he has lived. So we will use in question tag, it will be that's right, hasn't he. Number 8, she studied hard. So we don't have here any auxiliary verb or any verb to be, but a sentence in the past, because studied here in the end of it ed. So we will use did. It will be did she. Okay. And thanks. I hope you understood the lesson.